And we are We're going to start things off with our top 10 teenage prospects to watch out for. And we have an American making her entry onto this list. Liv Hyman. She's coached by Tom Downs, ladies and gentlemen. She's 19 years old. And yes, she is a junior slam champion. She won the 22 SW19 girls title, taking out Pana Yadvardi's relative, Lucia Yadvardi, in straight sets. Listen, guys, she's got 57 wins the last 2 seasons, 4 championships. Watch out for her, guys. She's got a deadly backhand, and she's number 10 on my top 10 list from the USA. Now, she hasn't necessarily transitioned to the main tour, but I think you should watch out, right? Because she's a walking round of 16. She'll probably even get into the quarterfinal of any of these ITF events. So I think this year she'll have a big push. Last season, she failed to qualify at the US Open, but she won 6 service games off of Stanastasia, a very good shot maker. She won 7 service games off of Diana Snyder at the SW19 qualifiers. I think she's primed to make a good push this year. Number 9. You guys might say good energy, you're drinking the Kool-Aid, you're riding the hype train. Well, maybe I am. Julietta Pera, yes, from the USA, ladies and gentlemen. Now listen, she hasn't won a junior slam title, okay? She's only 17, she just turned 17. She's ranked 563rd on the world tour. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, she won her first ITF title last year at Rancho Santa Fe. She took out a pretty tough draw. And listen, she's very consistent. She's only played last year 24 matches overall, only 21 wins. But I saw what I needed to see watching her at the US Open take out Kayla Day, who's come on very strong the last couple months, beat her in straight sets. Stefani, she beat her in 3, and she went 2 deep sets with Kimberly Burrell. I've seen enough, ladies and gentlemen. Number 9 is Julietta. Yes, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because I think she's big time. Number 9 on my list. Watch out for her. Now, it may be another year or 2 before she fully develops, but she's a talent you want to look out for. Number 8 on my top teen prospects list. You could possibly argue this person could be higher. Yeah, guys. A lot of buzz this year. Emerson Jones, ranked 293rd on the world tour, guys. That's her high. 18 wins last year, but the big championship came in Sydney. That's right, guys. ITF, where she took out Gibson, fellow Australian. She took out Ayava, fellow Australian. Lara Preston, fellow Australian, in straight sets. Now listen, she's only 16, and you can argue she should be higher on this list due to the competition she recently beat. And that's right, guys, in case you don't remember where you saw her surrounded by a lot of buzz make the Australian Open draw here with a wild card, of course. But ladies and gentlemen, a double breadstick, she would still win 2 service games off of Elena Rybakina, one of the best in the world. Now, arguably, ladies and gentlemen, she should be higher on this list, and I'm going to say it again because she actually won 8 service games off of Dasha in the round of 16 at the Adelaide. She won 5 service games off of Elsa Jackmont, who was another top junior standout. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, 24 Australian Open Junior Slam finalists, 24 Wimbledon Junior Slam finalists. She's big time. She's only 16, a lot of growth and development. Now, in terms of the footage on a lot of these younger players, it's very tough to find. But when they're playing these big matches on big stages, such as the Australian Open, Elena Rybakina, I can tell she's got talent and she will be a star. Number 8 on this list, ladies and gentlemen, Emerson Jones. Watch out. Number 7 on this list, I'm also drinking the hype juice, ladies and gentlemen. I'm on the hype train as well, and this is Ivana Yovic, 17-year-old from the United States, 29 wins last season. Listen, she won a couple lower level championships, and I watched them personally. I watched her at Ranta Santa Fe just dominate the draw, taking out Victoria Hugh. I watched her at Berkeley dominate that draw, taking out Whitney Oswego, Claire Nagoye. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, she went to Tyler where she made the championship match, beating Jamie Furless before losing to top seed Renata Zarazoa. Not before winning 6 service games. I'm on the hype train, guys. She's solid. She's ranked 191st. And yes, you might, the name might sound familiar, guys, because that's right. She beat Nuria Diaz in the first round of the Australian Open this year before losing by bagel in the first set to Elena Rybakina, but she would win 3 service games off of her. And listen, guys, that's not it. She has 2 junior double slam titles. She would have 3 if she didn't lose the French Open. Guys, she made 3 of the 4 double slam finals last year on the junior circuit. Solid. She won 2, the Australian Open, Wimbledon. She did lose the French Open. Her partner, Tyra Katarina Grant, solid as well. Number 7 on this list, Jovic. She's Coco Gauff approved. We were all disappointed she did not win the US Open girls title this year. She was one of the favorites to win it. But listen, watch out for her. Coco Gauff approved. Again, I'm going to say it again and again because she's got skills. I watched her play. She's very defensive. She's got good top spin. And it's tough to get footage on a lot of these younger players. But when they're going deep in these ITF tournaments and I can see them and see how good they are against these elite players. Renata Zarazoa, she's one of the best players ever from Mexico, right? The first Mexican player to win a main tour title. She played her very well. Jovic is very good, guys. She could even be higher on this list, but I think 7 is about appropriate for what's to come. Number 6 on my top teenage list, you've probably already heard of her, Lara Preston from Australia. Listen, she doesn't have the junior slam titles like some of the ladies on this list, but she's got 4 ITF championships and we've seen her on the big stage. That's right, guys. The last 2 seasons, she's won over 80 matches. That's right. She's solid. She goes deep in these lower level draws all the time. And you're probably wondering, well, if she doesn't have the junior slams, why is she on this list? Because she's ranked 172nd on the world tour. She's right within that reach of qualifying for these slams and these big time events. And this year, we saw her go 3 sets in the qualifiers, second round of the Australian Open with Harriet Dart, ladies and gentlemen. That's correct. She's a solid player, and she even beat Barthel in the first round, giving her a breadstick. I think Lara Preston, she moves well. She has a good backhand, but I'm very impressed by her speed and athletic ability. Watch out for her. She, in my personal opinion, may need another year or 2 to transition from the lower level to the main tour. But once she starts qualifying, I think she's going to be very comparable to like a Peyton Stearns. Preston, number 6 on my top teenage prospects list. Watch out for her. She's pretty good. Oh, and by the way, I'll add, one of the big difference between Preston and a lot of the other ladies on this list is Preston's been in these big matches already with a lot of top tier talent. How about Lin Zhu, Christina Buxa, Marie Carley, Peyton Stearns? She's played Zachary, Heather Watson, Marta Kashuk, Magdalena Freck, Stardup Seva, Julia Herrera, Nuria Diaz, Olivia Gadecki, Elina Svitolina, Linda Furtova, Carolyn Garcia, Habinu. She's played a lot of top tier talent, so that's the advantage she has. You could argue she could be higher on this list, but once you take a look at the number 5 player, you might agree number 6 is where she belongs. Number 5 on this list, it's only fitting to make Alexandra Ayala. That's right, because she's defeated Preston several times. Listen, she's the highest ranked Filipino player in the history of the WTA. Ranked 136 on the world tour, she's right there on the cuff of just qualifying for these Grand Slam events. She's a 3-time Junior Slam winner. She won the US Open singles draw in 22. She won the doubles Australian Open draw in 20 and the French Open doubles draw in 21. She's solid, guys. And listen, she's got 5 ITF championships. She's won nearly 150 matches the last few seasons. And we just saw her in Canberra make the final before losing to Saja Away, who's just so much stronger and more developed than her. But she beat Preston in the quarterfinal. Listen, I have watched her play. There's film on her. It's tough to get film on a lot of these juniors. But Alexandra Ayala is solid, guys. Watch out for her. 46 win season last year. Back to back 45 plus win seasons. You could argue she could be higher on this list, but the list gets a lot better. Stay tuned. Number 4 coming up next. Talk about how it's hard to find footage of some of these ITF players, but not of Maya Joint, who has officially made the transition to the main tour, guys. That's right. Maya Joint, the 18-year-old from Australia by way of Detroit, Michigan, is a superstar. Now, she didn't have the amazing junior career like some of these other ladies, but it doesn't matter when you're having a 62 win season and you're winning titles. 2 ITF championships last year, 62 wins. I'll say it again. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, she is knocking on the door of a top 100 ranking. Mira Andreeva is the only teenager right now that's ranked inside the top 100. One more deep run at her next tournament and Maya Joint will be there as well. Now, she's number 4 on this list despite having a junior slam because she's beating professional players. And you can argue she could be higher on this list, guys. She literally at Brisbane beat Madison Ingles. She went 3 sets with Victoria Azarenka. She went to Hobart and made the semifinal where she beat Olga Danlovic. Magdala Net also in straight sets with a double breadstick. Sophia Kinnan she gave a breadstick. And Elise Mertens she won 5 service games off of. She went the Australian Open first round and she won 3 games off of Jessica Pegula. Maya Joint's a solid player. Watch out for her, guys. She's going to the University of Texas, and I think she'll win the NCAA title. She's that good. Number 4 on this list, Maya Joint. Number 3 on this list needs no introduction. Alina Corniva, the next superstar from Russia, the 17-year-old. She's ranked 177th, guys. 50 plus wins the last couple seasons. Now she plays a light schedule, but she's finally made the transition to the main tour a lot later than Mira Andreeva. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not familiar, she defeated Mira Andreeva at the Australian Open 23 Girls Slam Championship match. She's a multiple slam winner. That same year, she won the French Open as well, guys. She's big time. She had the chance to become champ, losing the doubles French title that year in the final against someone that's also on this list, ladies and gentlemen. Alina Corniva, she, in my opinion, she's going to break the top 100 this season. She's already defeated some big names on the main tour. Let's go back to last season, guys. Not only did she defeat Maya Joint, but she defeated the likes of Sarah Cerebus Termal, who had an amazing doubles match last night with fellow Russian Kamela. But what about this hit list, ladies and gentlemen? She's defeated Anna Bondar, Chloe Paquette, Stefani, Petra Martic, Louise Chirico, Alicia Parks, Anna Blinkova, and Maya Joint, of course. She belongs on this list, ladies and gentlemen. Watch out for Alina Corniva. I think she's going to challenge Mira as the future of Russian tennis. My number 2 teenage prospect needs no introduction, guys. 18 years old from the United States, Clare Vei. She's a three-time Junior Slam champion. She won the Wimbledon girls singles title in 23. And listen, guys, she'd follow that up at the French Open, winning the doubles title on clay with her partner, Tyra Grant, who's also amazing. But don't forget, she even played with Diana Snyder to win the Australian Open girls doubles title in 22. She's been to 12 doubles finals. She's only 18 years old and she has power, ladies and gentlemen. We saw her burst on the scene in San Diego, blasting her rockets. And there she would go 3 sets with Katie Valines before defeating Claire Liu and Storm Hunter. We've seen her in epic battles with Anna Blinkova, who she defeated. She won a tiebreak with Magdalena Frech. We've seen her defeat Jessica Ponche, Louise Chirico, Elise Cornet, but we've also seen her go deep sets with Robin Montgomery, Peyton Stearns, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, she would go 3 sets with Taylor Townsend. And it's only fitting the number 2 player on this list has defeated Alina Corniva several times. Now, the one thing that separates Clare Vei from the other players on this list is her power. I think Clare Vei is the strongest server on this tour. She's got a lot of power on the forehand and backhand side. And quite frankly, I think today, if Clare Vei were to play anyone on this list, I think she would beat him. I think her power would be way too much. You could argue she could even be number 1 on this list. And my top teenage prospect for the 25 season is someone that I think is being overlooked a bit. And for this year's list, guys, I wanted to focus on players that have been overlooked, right? Maybe due to playing a short schedule, maybe not having the opportunities or getting into some of the tournaments they can get into. But primarily, this number 1 player that I want you to watch out for, I do feel has underachieved a bit, and I think will come back strong this season. Now, it's not Brenda Favortova. I think that with a little more focus, she'll be fine. It's not Victoria Jimenez. Again, another amazing player, former junior number 1, junior slam champion. She's not on the list. She's been on the list a couple years in a row, along with Brenda. This number 1 player on my list, I feel has underachieved, but I feel is very solid. And they can really break the top 100 for the first time in their career and become the next teenager, along with Marin Dreva, to be ranked inside the top 100. That's Sarah Bejlek, ladies and gentlemen, from the Czech Republic. She's short, she's fast, she's explosive. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, 42 win season in 23. She had 27 wins last year. She's solid, right? She's primarily a clay player, right? With literally 70% of her wins coming on the clay surface. But she's defeated some very tough competitors that you should not overlook. How about Priscilla Hahn, Heather Watson, Diane Perry, Sarah Irani, Leola Janjan, Nadia Podoroska, Panna Gadvari, Anna Bondar, ladies and gentlemen. Just to name a few. And look, I'll name a few more. How about Ashlyn Kruger, Anna Kylanskaya, Anna Blinkova? She's defeated some very tough competitors. Did I say Leola Janjan, who's always a solid out on clay? But listen, this year, and I think really the challenge with Sarah is she's primarily a clay player. She hasn't played a lot of hard events. Already this year, she's played, more hard events than she's played last year. And look what she did at Brisbane. Took out Sarah Turmel. She went a tiebreak with Anna Blinkova again, who she previously defeated. But what about the Australian Open? She made the first round after taking out Zarazowa, Jill Teichmann in the 3rd round of qualifiers, before losing to Carolyn Dolehide, who I said Sarah should beat Carolyn Dolehide, but the first set went to a tiebreak. And she just doesn't play a lot of hard court matches. But I think as she plays more hard court tournaments, she will start to beat a lot of these household names, and she'll show her skills. Look, she's very fast, explosive. She has good top spin. She's left-handed. She's got a great left down the line. Look, she goes to her lob. She's very defensive. She's very tactical. I think she's great at the net, and she can defend. But her speed is unmatched, guys. Watch out for her. She's going to cause a lot of people problems. She just has to get more comfortable playing on the hard court surface. And as she does, my top teenage prospect you want to watch out for this year, I think she's going to win a main tour title this year, guys, because she's that good. She just has to play the hard events, which she hasn't done. Tennis in a minute. Enjoy the list, guys. Again, a lot of ladies could have made this list that did not. A lot of close calls. I mean, just taking a look at my list, some people did not make the cut. Again, like I said, Brenda Favretova, I think she's here already. Victoria Jimenez, I think she's arrived. But even last year, Angela Okutoye from Kenya, she's 20 years old now, but watch out for her, guys. She's a multiple junior slam champion as well. Lucy Havovikova from the Czech Republic, she's solid. Watch out for her as well. Even watch out from Croatia, Petra Marcinko. I think she's pretty good as well. So those are some close calls, but I'm your host, Good Energy. Oh, I can't forget about Renata Jamrikova. She's pretty good as well. But I'm your host, Good Energy. Enjoy my top 10 teenage prospect list. And we're taking a look at my top 10 Americans. That's coming up next. I love you guys. Hit the super thanks. Like the video. Tell me your thoughts. Who do you think should have made this list? And we'll see you next time.